teachers or external schools, or now I don't know how does it work in colleges or schools, it's not bad to give directly the money to the businessmen, because they know what the skills they need, and they might use that money instead of paying a teacher to give him a 6 months or a year contract. I don't know actually how does it work, but it's a kind of provocation on instead of teaching, create jobs.
Okay, let me respond to two things there. One, that to crudely paraphrase what you said, employers know best is one of the most controversial issues in this field. In what ways do they have perfect information? To what extent are they rational economic actors? Are questions here. Obviously, by the time you get up to a large company, who's making the decision? Is it a HR director rather than, certainly not the CEO, because the CEO needs to have non-deniability about anything. So there are problems, and there is part of that political economy tradition would talk, one variant of that was a low-skill equilibrium argument that, again, because of cultural factors in some countries, there's a tendency towards doing the minimum. And in other countries, there's a tendency to do a lot more. England, Germany. So Germany would see that it made sense to train because other people were training, because the training quality was good, because working conditions were relatively good. And so there's a virtuous circle between investment in workers, in company organisation, in productivity, in technological development, in export markets. Or you kind of went cheap, pile it high, sell it cheap. Skills actually don't matter. And so, so that's been one of the tensions in that. I would say there's also obviously questions about, it depends on what you're training for. I suppose one of the classics of when national vocational qualifications came here, one of my favourites, I think, was the NVQ level 1 in shelf stacking. Which, how many hours? Obviously you need to know about lifting safely. You need to know about rotation of stock, so you don't just keep always putting the new stuff up front and the old stuff's at the back. But how long does that take relative to, because there was funding and a certificate attached, how long did it take?